Yeah, I can explain that. We're doing an interview in Eva Beach, all the way out at Eva Beach today, and I think we got some sweet stuff that we're gonna try today as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm so excited. I'm gonna open the door.
Someone told me he likes peanuts, so I hope you do like peanuts.
I do too.
Peanut butter, yes.
I mean, peanuts, same thing, right? So. Welcome to another episode of the show where we interview the storytellers, the hustlers, and the outcasts of the world. Today, our guest is Jen Doria, aka Jen the Vegan Baker from Shortcakes, Hawaii, and her husband, Bernard. Oh, and her son, their son, Skyler. Skyler, say hi, Skyler. So if you guys hear noises or you see like just random toys around, that's Skyler. Skyler's going to be a part of this interview in a big way. But guys, thanks for joining us today. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
So I born and raised here on Oahu. Grew up in Kalihi, Waipahu, and then now we're in Eva Beach. Been married to my husband since 2008. So we made 10 years last year.
Wow.
Yeah. And then it was my son Skyler, who just made 3 in May. And this energy never stops until he takes a nap at midday.
Yeah.
And then until about 9, 10. We are getting ready to try again for baby number 2.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. So then we're also trying to hire for Shortcakes Hawaii so that I can still be a mom.
Yeah. You can have a life.
So I can have a life.
Now, growing up from a Filipino background and everything, of course you guys are vegan. Because obviously you guys didn't grow up vegan. What was it like growing up in the Filipino culture, and what was your relationship with food?
Well, for me, so my family would always used to tease me about my weight, and whoever else was kind of on the overweight side. But then they also insisted that you eat all your food. And so if you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you don't eat, they're gonna ask you why. Are you sick? You're dieting? What is wrong with you? And then if you eat,
then it's too much.
Yeah. You went back for seconds when you really did it, and then it's just this mind.
It's kind of a local thing too, I think, is
food is love.
Yeah, they don't realize what they're saying. They mean well. Because even me, I grew up with 2 older brothers, and they constantly used to pinch my fat and everything, you know what I mean? And so I had a lot of psychological issues, and I always felt self-conscious and everything, you know. Of course it affects your self-esteem and everything. Filipino family, yeah. I mean, you guys got all kinds of food. What kind of food did you guys eat growing up?
Oh, so what did I?
Wine.
Every Sunday, my dad, and he still does it. He fries the sticky fried fish, the tuyo.
Yeah.
With eggs drenched in oil, tomatoes and onion, and the longanisa and spam and rice, and that. It was this whole ordeal because they grew up with 10 to 12 people in their family. My both sides, my mom and my dad, and then that was kind of what you ate all day Sunday. And that was just Sunday. Yeah, that was just Sunday.
Yeah.
And the loads of spam.
Lumpia, pancit, all the Filipino food.
Yeah.
Lechon. Well, it wasn't really a big lechon family, but.
Did you guys do the balut and stuff, or?
I did the egg, the yellow part, but everything else I never did. I never ate.
Yeah.
And then of course you had the soup part of it.
We've come a long way.
My family was a little bit more like westernized, Americanized.
Military.
Yeah,
Oh.
I guess because my parents were in America maybe a little bit longer than her parents.
Yeah, my parents came here in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they lived mainland before they came to Hawaii. So
You lucked out then.
Yeah, they kind of were more Western culture, and they kind of didn't really teach us that much Filipino stuff.
But you still got teased.
Yeah.
You also got teased.
Well, I was kind of a scrawny, skinny kid growing up, and I didn't really bulk up till maybe 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
Where did you guys decide to make the transition into vegan?
Okay, so a little bit after we got married, I had a lot of health issues. I was having my asthma, and I think the New Year's Eve of the year we got married, I even had to go to the hospital because all the smoke right in Waipahu. We were still living in Waipahu back then.
By the way, being a vegan child, you have a lot of energy. So let's just throw it out there, For all you guys thinking, oh yeah, my kid has a lot of energy. You try raising a vegan. So you want a healthy kid? Feed them some tofu and some beans and rice and stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you, Skylar, for showing us the possibilities of being a vegan at 3 years old.
Oh, God. Yeah, so I had a lot of health issues, and then at that time we were looking into health fitness coaches to help us get healthier. He was on his own path, and I needed a little bit more guidance. So I linked up with a health coach, and she wasn't vegan at the time, but her health issues aligned with mine. And she just got off all her meds, and that's what I was looking for. I had asthma, which I still do, but that's preventable if I work out.
Yeah.
Which I haven't been. I have to get back on that. And then I had non-erosive reflux disease, elevated liver enzymes, so they were concerned with that. And we also had a really hard time getting pregnant.
Yeah.
And then of course my weight issues. So all of that. And some other things, and then so I did the vegan thing.
That vegan thing. Vegan thing they do.
I all of a sudden got so healthy that we got pregnant. And then
so that contributed to having a healthy pregnancy.
Yeah. Well, that pregnancy, I was 13 weeks along, and then the baby didn't have heartbeat, and the cravings just came back because I was only a vegan for 3 months.
Yeah.
Cravings hit hard. I was hitting the zippies often, and then at one time I told him to get Chinese food at midnight. It was crazy. It was crazy. Then of course we had the miscarriage. Sorry, that's a little bit hard to talk about, but my body just needed to recover from all that trauma, and it's hard. And then emotionally, so 2 years later, Bernard and I just decided, maybe it wasn't enough in the cards to have a baby.
Yeah.
So we were just gonna focus on us. Then we went to the vegan capital, Portland, Oregon.
Oh, that's a vegan capital.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I just came from Oregon not too long ago.
Oh yeah, you gotta go to Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we did the Portland thing. We did a beer tour. Came back, got pregnant.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but it all started with the health thing, and then we were just introduced with all these documentaries on YouTube. Not even talking to anyone outside of us about being vegan or plant-based diets.
And that's kind of how it starts for most people that turn vegetarian, vegan, plant-based. Is they start off with documentaries.
Yeah.
Like I know for myself, I watched one documentary and I was hooked, and then I started watching a second, and a third, and a fourth, and I was like, oh, I'm done already.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell people who struggle with understanding being vegan or vegetarian, I always tell them, look, do your homework first. Watch some documentaries. There's a lot of documentaries on Netflix, and come to your own conclusions after that. Because I think a lot of people are so afraid of going against something that they've only known, since childhood. So I tell them do their homework first, and then from there you can decide whether being vegan is, or plant-based is for you, right? What were some of your struggles, Bernard?
For me, mostly the people I trained with, the stigmas of like, oh, you're gonna lose power on the bike if you stop eating meat. You're gonna lose all your muscle if you stop eating meat.
Now, were they serious or were they just playing around with you?
It was half serious, half just bro science.
Yeah, because I asked that because I've trained with a group of guys before.
Yeah.
And I know how guys can be to each other. They can be kind of mean.
Yeah.
So that's why I always wonder, were they actually serious or were they just trying to rib you?
Yeah. It's kind of 50-50.
Okay.
Some are serious because they truly believe that is the only way high protein from animal sources.
Yeah.
And they've never even tried the other side of the coin.
Mm-hmm.
So their belief system is strictly on one side, and maybe that one side did work for them, but it doesn't work for everyone.
And they never bothered to even try to research it either. Or do their homework.
Not really,
Yeah.
because they just see the stereotypical vegan or vegetarian who's like pencil thin, eats like broccoli or salads 3 times a day, and they
Yeah.
think that that's the
Stereotype.
stereotype. That's how
Yeah.
all vegans eat.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, I couldn't eat salads 3 times a day and just broccoli. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's not what we eat though.
By the way, I hate broccoli.
Yeah.
So I'll let you guys know that.
So do I.
And my lady, she went downtown. She bought some broccoli.
I mean, I'll eat it. Maybe hate is a strong word for broccoli. Sorry, broccoli.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't want to offend anyone out there.
She's chopping broccoli. Chopping broccoli.
I would eat broccoli like tempura style.
Yeah.
You know, like you got to do something to the broccoli for me to eat it. I think kind of the stereotypical way of seeing a vegan is like doing yoga and frolicking through a grass field.
This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius.
And just biting on some broccoli and every vegetable. But I think
We
that-
do have a little bit of a kick in our step, though.
Yeah, especially with your son. Your son
oh
has
my
a lot
God.
of kick in
He's
his
just-
step.
he's-
Yeah.
He's just constant running.
In case you guys wonder, look, this is all the.
Oh my gosh.
Skylar's very healthy. Let's just say I got all his toys down here. Now, Bernard, you're a good example of the stereotypes that people have on vegans as far as like not having enough muscle, not being athletic. What are some of the kind of the accomplishments you've been able to do in your? Because you do triathlons, you do a lot of cycling.
Yeah.
What are some of your accomplishments that you have you've achieved on a vegan lifestyle?
So I'd say
That's a trophy wall right there.
Wow.
I would say the first one, when I was like strictly more focused on weight loss, was I took myself from 236 pounds to 166 at my lowest. So something like, I don't know, 60 pounds plus ish
Wow.
weight loss. And that was when I was just strictly focused on dropping weight to get faster and to get quicker and just for sports performance.
Yeah.
But then when I changed my focus to sports performance, power, but not really based on just the weight loss part, more like endurance and stamina and conditioning versus just weight loss.
Yeah.
My focus changed, and I've done some of the most grueling bicycle events in the state.
What is the hardest race you've ever done?
I would say the hardest would be Cycle to the Sun, which is racing up Haleakala Maui, the volcano, 10,023 feet. I did Honolulu Triathlon, Olympic distance, which is the longest distance for Han Tri. And then 7 days later, I still felt good, so I did Honolulu Marathon.
Oh.
Yeah, all within
7
that.
days later.
Yeah,
Jeez.
7 days later. I don't know if it's ever been done before, but I did it as a vegan, and it is possible. The only thing that set me back is after that, when I was getting ready for half Ironman on Oahu, Cabela, I got hit by an SUV, and then that landed me in 6 months of physical therapy.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is the seventh bunny right here, part of
Oh.
it.
Look at this beauty.
I stare at it all the
Oh
time.
gosh, it's so
I
beautiful.
stare it down all the time.
He's staring down. There's a difference between staring and staring it
Yeah.
down. Being that you're an athlete, answer the one question that people are always asking. Where do you get your protein from?
Yeah.
Which we hear all the time. What are
Yeah.
some of your protein sources? when
Protein
you're training?
sources, green beans, broccoli, tofu, quinoa. What else?
Seitan.
Yeah, the
I
seitan.
love seitan. But what were some of the challenges? Because I mean, we know family, friends will make comments, and so being that you guys are Filipino culture, even me, Hawaiian culture. I mean, kalua pig, lau lau. You know, we don't have any shortage of meat either. What was some of the challenges that you guys face with your family? Like, you guys must have got questions and little things.
Well, the comments about the whole dieting thing kind of died down. They were really concerned with how are you supposed to build a baby without the meat, and then how is he supposed to grow up healthy without meat? But he's never had any meat. It's okay.
See, that's why Skylar apologizes. It's very hard to scold someone when they apologize. Because some kids, they'll just be bad and they'll just cry, right? Skylar actually says sorry. And he even says sorry, guys. What 3-year-old says sorry, guys?
Well, we work on communicating feelings, so he's very open. He'll say, I'm very angry. I also tell him that too.
Well, the next topic is actually Skylar.
Oh.
So we're going to talk about you, Skylar. So now,
Wow, you're the center of attention now.
growing up, Skylar grew up vegan. And that's all he's ever known. Yeah? Now, I'm sure, because everybody likes to give parenting advice, right? Even though it's solicited or whatever you call it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So what was some of the challenges in raising Skylar vegan? Some comments you guys got, maybe some people that didn't agree with it. Were there any challenges with that?
Both our parents were concerned and why, especially, if he got a cold, they would suggest that he eat chicken tinola, the chicken soup, or chicken mufaya.
Yeah, we always go to chicken first, yeah.
No, he can have some miso soup and he's fine. At least to stay hydrated. That's the point. And we had one comment from your mother-in-law, your mother.
Yeah.
She said, well, it's up to you. But it wasn't so bad. In my family, they were more concerned because they, I have a sister, an older sister, and she has a son, but they're in the mainland, so he's really the only grandchild they've ever really gotten to know, and so they're highly protective of him. And so it was just, and it's all they knew.
But I think as a mom, you take it a little more personal,
Oh gosh,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
I had a really bad baby blues.
Yeah.
And first time mom, so everything that I was told, I would get really upset.
Yeah.
So, and I think as a vegan, that's heightened, and then the whole veganism thing, it gets worse when you're a parent, because then you think of the baby cows. Getting taken away for the milk. Yeah. So all that is just everything's heightened.
Because I've always wondered about raising a kid vegan. Because we're always taught, okay, after the breastfeeding stage, then you go to what, whole milk, something like that.
Yeah.
Right. So now, what did you guys do? I know it sounds like a stupid question to you guys, but I know a lot of people are wondering what happens after the breastfeeding stage. Did you guys, was it soy milk or what did you guys do next?
So he's been actually breastfed until maybe a little after 2 years old.
Okay.
And they say it helps a lot with the brain development
And immune system.
but as soon as they're interested in food, that's when we start giving them. And then I didn't make enough because I was working a lot. I didn't make enough milk, so we would supplement with soy formula.
Soy formula?
Yeah.
So they don't recommend that you give them, and that may not have been, it's Hawaii, it's hard to find plant-based.
Now it's called soy formula.
Yes.
And where do you get that from?
Target.
I got mine at Target.
Yeah, got it at Target.
I didn't know
That's the
that.
vegan
There's only
Walmart.
one. Yeah, there's only like one Similac can that's off color than all the rest, and it's stuck right in the middle of all the rest, so it's kind of camouflage. You would never notice it until you're absolutely looking just for that.
Soy formula at Target.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yes.
And the labeling is very small, so you would have to read the whole label to find it.
Downtown started carrying soy formula also. Yeah, and then I'm sure if you look online, they actually have one that says vegan.
Oh, it's so interesting.
But you just gotta read the ingredients. Yeah.
So do you think they're trying to cater more to vegans, or is it like allergies?
It's
or,
allergies.
Okay.
A lot of kids have lactose intolerance. So they have the soy as an alternative. And our pediatrician at the time, they were questioning why we were giving him soy formula. And they kept pushing the milk. But no, it's fine. If there is a true concern, then we'll address it. but there's never been a real concern.
The only concern or biggest concern was the cavities, dental cavities that he developed because soy formula and soy milk is a little more viscous than the cow version, and so it sticks on children's teeth longer. So one thing, if you're a vegan parent out there, you would have to brush your kids' teeth more frequently.
Or just switch to almond milk.
Yeah.
Almond milk will take care of it.
Yeah, they're just fortified. Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
but
I
should never
knew
be
that.
substituted for formula.
Yeah. So how is his energy on a daily basis? I mean, does he get sick often? How? It's a lot.
He's
a good kid. He's really energetic.
He's only gotten sick maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for those 3 times he'll only get sick for a day and a half.
Yeah.
But the energy doesn't die down.
And
He'll probably take
this-
an extra nap,
24
but
hours
it's
a
still
day.
like this. He's still just as energetic. He
Um,
poops 3 times a day. This is a vegan
You
problem.
poop 3 times a day?
Yeah.
You poop 3 times a day? That's a lot. That's a lot. Now that I think of it. Wow.
Yeah.
I want you guys to let that sink in. Do you poop 3 times a day?
You should.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
Skylar poops 3 times a day. All right, so I think it's safe to say that you got a lot of energy, right?
Oh.
Let's talk about the business. How did the business start? Shortcakes Hawaii. How did that happen? The inception of that and everything.
Okay, so well, I always loved baking, but in my previous career as a social worker, I just never had the time. And then just before having Skylar, I was starting to work 60 hours a week, driving from Ever Beach to Diamond Head and back 3 or 4 times a week.
Oh wow.
So that's a 3-hour commute every day.
Yeah.
And then when he was born and then I went back to work, it just came to the point where I was just going through the motions of mom, cooking, work, and sleep. That's all I do. And then as a new mom, you really don't sleep. You kind of half sleep.
Yeah.
You're breastfeeding, they're waking up in the
You
middle
always
of the
have
night.
one eye open, sort of, right?
And then the husband doesn't, he gets sleep.
Always.
The other
That's
person
usually what happens.
gets sleep. He gets sleep. I just said one day, I'm done. It's either I choose my family or my job, and then my family always comes first. I was selling makeup for a long time, and that kind of gave me income, good enough income to replace my income before. And then as soon as I left my job, that income kind of dwindled, and we were kind of stuck. And I didn't want to go back to work because it would just be the same thing.
Yeah.
So, because I wasn't really doing anything, I started baking again. And then I just decided, oh, maybe people will want to buy baked goods. You know, vegan is not easy to come by. And then it just blossomed from there.
Where did you get the name Shortcakes Hawaii?
My height.
Oh, figures. Yeah.
Yeah.
Figures. You can't tell because you're sitting on a couch with.
I am
We all
4
look the
feet
same.
11, and this guy, you're
5'11".
Yep.
Bernard, you're about 5'9".
Yeah, 5'9"-ish, yeah.
5'9"-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I heard you're official taste tester.
I'm official taste
Taste tester
tester.
CEO or something like that.
Yes.
What's your title?
I've only rejected a few samples, mostly the flowery ones.
Yeah.
We do a lavender shortbread and then a rose water shortbread cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to give her your honest feedback, right?
Yeah.
You don't
Yes.
want to hurt her feelings.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
we're
guy-
at the point
You guys
where
are at that point.
where
It's
we
cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's just professional taste testing.
Because asking your husband if
Yeah.
this tastes good or not is kind of along the lines of, do I look good in this dress, right?
Yeah.
So as a husband, you kind of gotta be, well, let's see, do I starve tonight or do I be honest and we put out a good product? But you guys are pretty honest with each other.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all good.
She takes the constructive criticism pretty well,
Good.
and we've created a system to where I ask her not to really tell me what the brand new flavor is.
Yeah.
I want to decipher it on my own with my own taste buds,
Okay.
and see if I can figure out what the flavors are and if it's correct with what it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
We don't
That
like
way
it.
it works out best. And
No, we
then
don't
I could
touch
say,
this.
oh, I don't really taste the strawberry too much. I think the strawberry has to be added, and then
Oh.
the liqueur has to be dulled down a bit. Yeah, if you want it to be strawberry liqueur or
Yeah.
liqueur strawberry. Yeah.
That's the same thing, by the way.
Yeah, but
It's
what
just
do
how
you,
you word it.
yeah, but what do you
It
want
sounds
it
different.
to predominantly be?
Yeah, yeah.
When he had his third birthday down here, and I made katsu,
Mm.
and I had to kind of do a preemptive strike and like steal some of it
Yeah.
because everyone just attacked that, and they barely touched the meat.
And katsu is a local dish in Hawaii. So what's some of the ingredients you use to make the vegan chicken katsu take the place of the chicken?
So we use a mixture of chickpea flour. I was gonna say garbanzo bean flour, but that's the same thing.
I get confused with
Essentially.
that garbanzo and hummus
Chicken.
thing. I'm like,
There's
they're both the same, right?
there's also it's also called not homily. That's the Catholic thing. No, the homily bean, right? Isn't it? It's
Homily?
homily. Yeah.
Yeah, homily is the sermon in the
Yeah.
Catholic.
But they
Mass.
also it's a bean name for chickpea or
Oh.
garbanzo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Homily.
Because I seen that in the
Hominy.
Mexican aisle
No,
in Don
hominy.
Quixote.
Hominy.
Hominy, not homily.
Not homily.
Oh.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we're all in harmony on this.
We
Yeah,
are.
well,
You know?
It's not e-hominy, but it's
It's not
There-
harmony,
Yeah.
but it's hominy.
There is
yeah.
the pun.
Yeah.
There you go. There's
Yeah.
your pun. You need to
Yeah,
write
me and
down.
they studio audience up. Yeah, me and Bernard sharing our love of puns. So
And lame drunk, lame
Yeah.
jokes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
yeah, the hominy, e-hominy, that was a really good thing. Really good thing.
The ingredients in the katsu. So we do garbanzo bean flour. We do rolled oats for the texture. Some more beans, and then the seitan flour, garlic, shoyu. I basically just told you my ingredients. Yeah.
Wow.
And then panko. Sometimes I make my own panko breadcrumbs if I have the time, and I use the organic
Yeah.
bread. But if I don't have the time, I just use the pre-made panko.
Yeah. Whew. I'm getting hungry.
Yeah.
Taylor's getting hungry too.
That sounds so honored.
The great thing is we are actually gonna try some of their stuff in just a few minutes. But before we do, I thought it would be fun for us to play a little game. And every so often on the show we play a game, and usually the guest doesn't really know what game it is, which makes it even more fun because they don't know what to expect. So we're gonna take a break right now, and then we're gonna come back and play a game with Bernard and Jen. Stay tuned. Okay, so what we're gonna play is a game called. Did we come up with a name, Taylor?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, we're gonna play a game called I Did It for the Gram. So I told Jen on the phone before we had this interview, I said, look, this is not just gonna be any interview. We wanna know, but we wanna really find out, all your dark secrets and everything. No, not dark secrets. Basically how the game works is we went through your
How
Instagram.
far did you go?
We went pretty far back, yeah. We saw you as a baby, little Bernard on his bike. It went really far back. But basically, what this game is we went back on Jen's Instagram and Shortcakes Hawaii Instagram, and we found some pictures, and we thought it would be fun for Jen and Bernard to explain what these pictures are about, or just maybe give a little bit more insight into why you did that for the gram. So, by the way, this is Taylor's first episode. Taylor, she's holding a kid. She's doing all kinds of things.
Thank you, Taylor.
It's her first day on the job. All right, so the first picture is this.
That is.
Whoa, I remember that one. I remember that one.
So this
Explain yourself, Jen. Explain yourself.
So
Because that sure doesn't look like Bernard.
Whoa.
Who is that other man?
Whoa.
my brother.
I remember that night. She turned me into a girl too on that.
You were a pretty girl though.
And
You look like your mom.
without my knowledge, and so I thought it was very awkward, and I thought like, oh my gosh. What is going on
They're
in the
gonna
marriage?
revoke my man card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on in the
You're
marriage?
married until death.
Is she
Even
into
if I turn
girls
to a
now?
man. There was this thing on Instagram where I think it was actually a Snapchat filter where it's that gender swap
Yeah.
challenge.
Yeah.
And so
gender
all
swap.
these filters came through, and so I was bored, and so this is what I do when I'm not baking but I have to be home and I can't watch TV or whatever or do a lot because he wants to be king of the TV.
Now, is that all of
my
you?
God. That is all of me.
Okay, so it's a young Jen. It's
Brother Jen.
Rada Jen.
Rada Jen. Rada Jen is very like I would be worried, Bernard. That looks very real.
Yeah,
Eyebrows are
yeah.
sleek.
That Jen went through some rough patches.
Oh.
She's on rehab.
Yeah.
And looks like she got some rough patches in her mouth.
Yeah.
Me too.
The rough
Wow.
patches, buy rice, not ice. Please.
All right, well, let's go to the next one.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Good, you took it.
Yeah, it didn't go all crazy. Yeah, it didn't go all
way
crazy.
back. Okay.
You got scared. Like, how far did you go back?
So, address the steps.
Oh, okay, so this picture is taken at one of my classes that I taught at Down to Earth. And the standard counter is really tall. And I had to roll dough, and you need a lot of
I didn't notice the steps still, to be honest. We just screenshot it. I did not notice the steps still until now. Because you are what,
411.
4'11", okay.
Yeah, and so the top of the counter is like here.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
right
yeah.
here. And so you're trying to roll.
You would've been
the
like
croissant.
that.
Yes. No, it's can't do it.
The next picture in question is... So now I know blur is not a flavor, right?
Yeah.
So what is the blur all about?
So I have to blur images so I don't get flagged because we do have some people out there who are sensitive, but it's just cake.
Yeah.
And then I believe like Instagram, they're very sensitive about what you show, even though it's not the actual image of the real thing.
Showing private parts. That's what we're trying to say, people. Jen's being very nice about
I
it.
didn't know.
Yeah, there's some private
Wait,
parts
are
on
you
on
sure?
that cupcake.
No, okay. This was a bachelorette party, and the bride to be is vegan, but everyone
Okay.
else isn't vegan. So they wanted to give her her own set of cakes to enjoy on her own, because you don't want to be the celebrant and not eat anything.
Yeah.
So they ordered her, I believe this is a guava cupcake, and then decorated with bachelorette themed
Things
topping.
and stuff.
You have the pizza, you have the wedding, and then after the wedding, toppers. Or before the wedding, whatever you want to.
We'll just leave it at
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I think you guys can kind of figure out what's
Yeah.
on it. Well, thank God you weren't the taste tester on that
Yeah,
one. You know what I
no.
mean? Gosh.
I'm sure it tasted
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine Bernard tasting that? That's
Uh,
kind of tough.
For the record, not my flavor.
All right, next picture.
Oh, okay.
So that's a picture of me and my dad. We FaceTime often. He mostly wants to see Skylar, but also he likes to talk to me a lot. He's
Yeah.
actually my
pretty good with
first
technology.
best friend. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's very good with technology. So this is on Facebook Messenger, and we always take pictures of each other making these hilarious faces, and that's kind of what our family does. Yeah. One time when we first discovered the webcam on our old laptop,
Yeah.
we took a family photo, and what my dad did, he didn't even look at the camera. He just went like this, and it was just a picture of his bald head.
Yeah, my mom doesn't even know how to use. Look, my mom in a social setting, if somebody's phone goes off, she doesn't even know her own ringtone. So she's like, "Oh, wait." I'm like, "Mom, that's not even your phone, Mom. It's the guy over there." So props to your dad for actually knowing how to do FaceTime
Yeah.
and having the gist of technology, right? All right, we got one more, which I think is a pretty cool one.
Oh, yeah.
How did that happen?
So
Congresswoman, What would she be labeled? Congresswoman or
Congresswoman.
Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard.
Is the first female combat veteran running to be president of the United States and Hawaii's rep from the 2nd Congressional District there, Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi. Hey. How you doing? Aloha. Great to see you again. Yes, great to see you. Wow.
So prior to her ordering her cake, which was the cake for her parents actually for their 50th wedding anniversary, she was kind of stalking, and I was like, maybe it's someone PR, but it's actually her.
Yeah.
And she messaged me in December, and I was like, oh my God, Tulsi. I went on my personal Facebook page and said, Tulsi is gonna order from me.
Yeah.
And so I started fangirling, I started panicking, and then when she actually messaged me, and then she called me with this very professional voice. Oh my gosh,
My God, this is
my
Tulsi.
pigeon gonna slip out accidentally? It's been a while since I worked in an office.
Yeah.
You know?
But we did get the top pigeon with Tulsi.
We did.
Tulsi is vegetarian.
She's vegetarian, but
Okay.
I think she's mostly vegan.
Mostly vegan.
Yeah. They frequent Down to Earth a lot.
Yeah.
I know her parents lives in Kapolei.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a memorable moment.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I worked so hard on that cake, and I didn't want to mess up. I was like, I was stressing,
Yeah.
and I stayed up till maybe past midnight.
Well, that's all the pictures, and we're gonna get into our favorite part of the interview, which is actually trying out what you guys got. And Taylor, right now, is happy that she got this job because she get to do this. The other Taylor must be very jealous of you right now. The next interview, I'm gonna be at a senior home or something. She's like, "Great, I wanted the food gig. I'm at a senior home right now."
Well, we
Yeah.
did make enough so that you could take,
Nice.
Who delivered to
if you choose.
Oh, we will choose. Yeah, we will choose. So that's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna try some food, some desserts, and it's gonna be sweet. You get that punch? Sweet, because desserts are sweet.
Yeah.
Let's do that right now.
Ain't gonna tear their ass up, simple as that.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for bringing me on board.
So we try to make things so that even someone that didn't eat plant-based would still want to eat this.
I still want to do this.
Okay, go ahead.
Winner!
Sorry, other Taylor.
Don't worry, Taylor. We're gonna visit the senior home on the next episode.
Okay.
All right, you ready, Skylar?
Ready, Skylar? You sing.
Happy birthday to you.
Woo!
Happy birthday to you.
Woo!
Happy birthday, dear Amy.
That's always the awkward part. How we don't know the name.
To you.
Thank you, Skylar. All right. You gotta help me blow. We'll blow at the same time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
You're 39 too!
I want to thank Jen and Bernard and Skylar for the Shortcakes Hawaii. Thanks for being on the show. Where can they find you guys on Instagram, Facebook, all that other good stuff?
Instagram, Facebook, hopefully our website is coming up. You can find our cupcakes always at Vegan Hills in Kaimuki. And then we do custom orders and also events twice a month at least. Well, might be more busier. More busier, yeah.
More busier.
Yeah, more busier. There's the pigeon coming out.
Well, we're gonna cut into this big hunk of a cake. And thanks for joining us, guys, today. And we will see you on the next episode of the show.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.